No worries.
Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Chesh from Chesh Breaks, and I have a very special guest with me. And I probably should start with the whole this stream is sponsored by Guff, so go there for your stuff. But whatever, we'll do that later. But I'm here with the man himself, bit of an inspiration really, which is Grayson from Cherry. Grayson, how you doing?
I'm good, Chesh. Thanks for having me on.
That's all right. See, you did it then. Every other time, I swear. It's almost like that subtle dig just to get me saying something in chat, and it works every time. It's like cheesh. I mean,
You should know by now that no one in the hobby murders the pronunciation of names quite like me.
I've been watching you do it for years, so it's not a surprise. Speaking of, has anyone attempted to put it down to you being Tasmanian?
No.
I say this as a fellow Tasmanian, by the way, just in case anyone wants to crap on about it. I was also born in Tasmania, so hence I have apparently a weird accent that I don't understand that I have. I don't.
Yeah, a lot of things people do tribute to me being Tasmanian. That is not one of them.
Is that the love of horses? Is that where I'm going with this?
And family.
Well, I wasn't going to go there because I've heard enough of those jokes to last me a fucking lifetime. So the reason that obviously we wanted you on is because we want to talk about little facets of who you are, what you do, what Cherry is, etc. So I think I'm just going to jump right in. And I guess the first thing is, from what I understand, and I could be incorrect, but is it true that you are one of the, if not the first Australian online trading card store back in 2009?
That probably is somewhat accurate. I think there were other online trading card stores. They probably just didn't function like people expect an online store to function. Probably more like just a landing page. So yeah, I think that the opportunity that I saw in 0809 was to have a functioning online store that people could interact with easily, and to some extent there still isn't a lot today. There's a handful, but there's not a lot that have got a wide range of stock.
Yeah, so I guess one of the things here I should say is so for myself, I was up in Brisbane at that stage, and I was running CCG Tower, but that didn't start until 2001, maybe 2000. I think it was 2001 when we set up our store, and we were mainly doing Pokemon stuff. But even then, the legend of Cherry was growing across the land to what you guys are today, which is actually pretty phenomenal, especially when it comes to Australia. And I know that the introduction of the internet has been a big thing, especially for our shitty little island. But when it comes to the world stage, I almost could say without a doubt that if you ask other distributors, partners, stores outside of Australia who you guys are, they're going to say, yeah, they know you, before they say they know anyone else that's in Australia, which is phenomenal. It's a very good, kind of a great group effort on your behalf with you and your staff, but it says a lot for how you and Charlie kind of market Cherry and how you get it out there as well.
Yeah, Charlie does an amazing job. Charlie and I grew up together, and we certainly didn't really get along when we were younger, and we were those friends that were always fighting. But we're such different people. We've got a very common sort of sense of humor and very common interests, but we're so different in the way we operate, and it was, I wanted to start a company with Charlie, and it was something that he was interested in, but just not in the position to do it. So Charlie was, the emails for the conception of Cherry were all there between Charlie and myself, and he early on, I definitely thought this is not going to work out. This guy's not the partner that I thought would be required to take Cherry to where it needed to be, and Charlie sort of was looking to do something different as well. But it's very clear to me now, as we've both matured, I guess, in the space, that Charlie's incredible skill set was just different. It wasn't there for that. It wasn't the thing that I thought the business needed at the initial stage. But now he's taken us to an unprecedented position, and to a point where I think globally we're probably more respected for what Charlie's done with the business than perhaps what I've done with the business. And similarly, someone like Blake, his work, he's a war horse, and he gets a huge amount of pushback from me, mainly because he's, that's kind of what I did for so many years. So I feel like I'm still doing it, even though I'm not in a position to do it anymore. And he would be recognised, I'd say, by any car shop owner, certainly worth their salt worldwide. Likewise, Dale, managing our singles, we're one of the largest singles businesses in that space worldwide now, particularly with modern relevant stuff. And he's not so much a face of the business, but I think there's two parts, and I'm going on a bit with this answer, but there's two parts to that amazing success that you kind of highlighted. And one is that having the right people in the positions, because Cherry's nothing without those people. And the second is that it's about relationships. Everything's about relationships as far as I'm concerned, and that's life in general, and it's also in business. And the reason that Cherry's been able to have some success in that space is that we invested more in the relationships with people, whether it was Panini, Topps, Steel City, Burbank, Colorado's #1 sports shop, Beckett, PSA, you name it. The money was spent to go and sit with them and chat with them and ask them about what drives them, and to see how we could deliver value to them. So, because at the end of the day, if you're bringing value to someone else at some point or other, when things get tough, hopefully they're there for you too. And I think that's been highlighted in the last year, when things have gotten pretty tough, and people have still been able to find product for us. They've still been able to open new doors for us. There's some close, which they always do. So yeah, I think that relationships put you on a map just as quickly, or maybe even more quickly, than if you were to suddenly come across 100 cases of prison basketball.
Well, I mean, that's it, isn't it? Like, it's the age-old, people think that networking is somehow outdated, and they're terribly incorrect. I mean, social media is basically networking. Look at Burbank Sports Cards. Look at what they're doing at the moment. Like, I can't remember his name that owns the store now.
Rob.
Thanks, yes. Like, his son taken over, right? Like, but he's still in the foreground, like, doing Instagram stuff. He's still interacting and networking with the customers, and social media is obviously a huge part of this business because of that networking. But it's not just networking with customers; it's networking with other businesses. it's networking with those suppliers, it's networking with other stores, and not having the shitty 90s feuds that we saw, you know, back in the day when people were clawing at each other trying to get, you know, stock as quickly as possible. But now people are actually starting to work together and like, well, you know, everyone's doing it tough, and if everyone sticks together and helps, you know, each other out, it's better for everyone, because, you know, the customers are going to be happy because, you know, stock's coming into Australia. You guys are able to supply some of the best, most affordable brakes in Australia, and I think that I don't think I've seen any brake that you guys have done as a first brake for a premier product, like a premier brake, that has been more expensive than anyone else in Australia, to the point where I get the feeling, and I know how card shop businesses work. I used to manage Underground Groove in Coolangatta, you know, back in the 2000s, that when you're opening product, you're usually taking a loss to get the singles out there to get the customers in. The same with doing like early breaks. The earliest you can get a break up, the fastest you can get that break up. You know, cutting back on what you're going to make off that, you know, that first lot of boxes to get those customers in. Be like, look at us, we are doing this thing and it is fantastic, and you need to come and get eyes on. Which, I mean, really isn't, technically speaking, shortchanging yourself, because you're actually using that as marketing. It's a marketing tool, and people don't kind of realize that that's how it is, especially with all the overheads of a, you know, a brick and mortar store. And it's not just electricity and, you know, potentially rates and the location and the staff, but it's also import charges and GST charges and freighting charges, and it makes me dizzy thinking about it.
Yeah, well, and it's a huge amount of guilt too. I mean, we're in a situation at the moment where, particularly NDA product, some of the prices that the secondary market moves to are incredible, and we're very lucky to be in that position. And it's been somewhat sort of balanced out by the fact that we can only get a quarter as much stock. Yeah, we're selling it for 4 times the price, but we can only get a quarter as much. But the end of the day, what that delivers is a poor value proposition to the customer. And the customer, on certain occasions, it isn't a poor value proposition because they do well, and the value converts to a secondary market sale of a single, perhaps. And on other, it's fine because they, you know, are buying something that is going to be, you know, they think that box might be 2-3 times more expensive next year. So in those positions, the value proposition is fine. But there's also another, you know, the people who didn't get anything from that break, or they got a bad run from that break. You know, all they got was a base rookie auto sticker of RJ Barrett. So it's been difficult to work out how that isn't a short-term scenario where those customers just churn because they're not happy. So we looked at what we could do, and I've got absolutely no interest in going low on pricing and hurting other resellers of trading cards in Australia. It's never been my intent, and it's a quick way to make a lot of enemies and also to go out of business. So we try to do it early so that it doesn't affect other people's pricing models, and we try to make a lot of noise about it, so that the manufacturers can see that we're trying to do the right thing by customers in a particular, in this region. Mm-hmm. And so we make a portion of our product available for wholesale, a portion of our product available for pre-order, a portion of our product available for those entry-level pricing, and then we try to give the market some oxygen so that those other people that have to buy 4 or 5 cases into Card World, and they've got to buy 4 or 5 cases from Blowout Cards, and they don't have that ability to go under the market price, have got an opportunity to thrive in this region as well. Because at the end of the day, unless this pie gets bigger, becomes just a massive impost on me. And there's only so much money you can fork out on clearly Donruss or Obsidian or Opulent, other speculative products that may not go either way. I don't want to take all that risk. I want that risk to be shared across a number of different companies. So that's why we do it that way. And touch wood, our customers seem to appreciate it. They get into the brakes at all the different price points, and they obviously feel that we do our best to try to find value for them. And as soon as a product doesn't look like it's value for them, it just disappears off our menu. I'm not interested in running case breaks of Obsidian or case breaks of Encased or Opulence. I just don't see the return on it, and we move away from it as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair, especially with I guess just to touch on Encased. So you are the one who cracked me that brilliant gold 9.5 Tyler Hero. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's been plenty of instances, and not to knock the product, thicker cards are harder to grade. They always get, pretty terrible grades regardless. But we're seeing 8s, 8.5s. We have seen a couple of 10s, but they seem extremely rare to come out of there. But you're right, I went in that first 2-box break, managed to get the Hero. That quite easily could have gotten nothing, which actually was what happened on the 30th. Yeah, on Friday night. I went in the 3-boxer for teams, for Rockets, and just got nothing. But it does happen, and obviously, being able to get the people back in, if they've lost on a break like that, it's disheartening. But I think the value that you guys provide, and especially with Blakey at the helm of breaks, because it's so entertaining, that's another factor that obviously is going to bring people like me back in to do more breaks, to be all like, all right, well, I lost out on this one, and that's fine, accept the fact that this is a gambling loss, move on. What else is there, that's coming out? Clearly Donruss looks pretty bloody good, and I'm actually excited for it. I've missed the pre-order, and that happens, but you're damn right I already got in for a box break of that, because I'm like, it looks good, the cards look fun, which moreover for me is more about fun than value. If I walk away with some really cool looking insert or something like that, I'm much happier than, if I'm walking away with nothing. But I know people that'll be like, but I didn't make my value back. But obviously you guys try and give as much value as possible at a baseline where people are, okay with spending the money, rather than trying to put themselves out to all right, what can I quickly scramble and sell off so I can go in this break, which is great.
Yeah, and products that deliver amazing value, they come around. We saw that Corkings delivered amazing value, so we went back to the market in the US and we bought 60 cases of it at the price point that we thought would just continue to deliver a great value in our breaks. We saw premium threads last year would deliver amazing value. We went back to the market and we bought 70 cases of premium threads, and we were including it in breaks at $175 a box. It probably sells for, I don't know, $800, $900, maybe more dollars a box now. We saw that Optic Contenders last year delivered amazing value. We went to the market, we bought something like 60 cases of it. This is all off, big, well-known global websites that have got great supply.
Mm-hmm.
And we were including it in breaks, $200 a box in our breaks. Probably sells for close to $2,500 now a box. So when we identify products that add value well beyond their price point, we just go hard at them, and we make sure that they're in every single one of our breaks every single night, because it continues. We know mathematically that they just over deliver. So, and we know that because we're not just breaking them live. We'll go and do 5 cases for singles. So we're in that position. We know that that if every 20 boxes of that, we know that Blake's going to get a Luca, then a Kobe, a Giannis, 4 golds. One in every 40 boxes, he's going to get a gold vinyl, and it's just mathematical after that. So at $200 a pop, they were just stupidly undervalued in the marketplace, and it's harder at the moment because of the significant market pop prior to a product releasing. But we're already noticing it. Like, you can already pick up what was the product I saw the other day? It might be Crown Royales at a really good price point now to purchase.
Yeah, you can get about $600-ish.
Yeah, so that's becoming a really good price. Donruss Choice this year was amazing, so we smashed that, although you can't get that anymore. But some of the products are starting to get back to the price that we can see really good value. And there's actually one that's still amazing, and it's Donruss Optic Choice. This year's the dragons are easier to get. There's probably like 10 to 15 of each, but the on-card autos are amazing, and there's about 6 to 8 boxes in every case that have potential for huge results. So that's pretty good in a 20-box case.
Yeah, I mean, good luck to getting a whole case at this stage. But I mean, that's exactly it, right? Like, it's the old odds on box. It's funny when I hear people like go, "Oh, I cracked 3 boxes of this and I got this like really good box," and it's like, yeah, but you don't understand that that's basically a case box. Like one box or maybe 2 boxes if you're lucky in every case are really hot. They're just so good because of the way that it's collated. You can't pick it. There's not like a way to kind of bend that to your will. There's not a way to like pack search or box search for which slot that box is going to be in that case either, which is actually kind of good. Not like Magic the Gathering did with a release a little while ago. Sorry, Wizards. But yeah, like, I think that it's going to be interesting for the next year, and it's funny because there's still a lot of people thinking that because of weak rookies, products going to like plummet, and it's like, that's not how it works. Like, it's not because you've got the second year of all of these amazing rookies, so that's absolutely not how it's going to work. I can see the price reduce a bit, but there's so many people in the hobby, so many new people in the hobby, even now still coming into the hobby, that I think that boxes aren't going to go down that much in price. And I think it's still going to be not a flippers market, but there's obviously still changes that Panini's going to be making, and I think the box prices are going to come down a little bit to be a bit more affordable, which is what we're seeing with like clearly Donruss currently at like what, $5.50 a box pre-order, which is gonna absolutely go up because it's clearly Donruss. We're seeing Hoops, which is, in my honest opinion, probably the lesser of the two, to be honest. Hoops is definitely going to be worth more than it currently is. I personally don't like the odds on Hoops, but that's just me. Product looks great,
yeah,
but those...
I think the jury's out on both those products as to whether or not they're going to be able to stand up. They're designed to be entry-level products, and the market pushed them pretty high. It's going to be interesting to see how they hold up. They're very similar in their pack out to, well, it seems to be they're going to be very similar in their pack out to Revolution.
Yeah.
So that's the product I was thinking of before. Revolution. Right. This year's Revolution is a sensational price, given that you can get on-card Kobe Bryant autographs, on-card all the rookie autographs. You can get the Galactics, the Lavas, the pack. This year's impact was sensational. So I think that's a really hard product at around $300 US. to compete against for both Cooley Donruss and Hoops Hybrid. So it would be interesting to see how they measure up.
Yeah, just for people wondering at home, make sure you get Revolution and not Revolution Timor. Not to say that I don't know. So when I bought my Revolution box, I bought a Timor box because I was like, oh, this is, you know, cheaper than the other box. Like, I'm just gonna crack this and let's see. And it was just horrific. It was horrific. And I learned my lesson from that one. But yeah, pretty much I can see that happening. Speaking of product in this COVID era, how has COVID changed the way that you actually do business outside of having to close off to the public? So we already know that Cherry's closed off to the public, but how has COVID changed the way that you've been doing business to basically keep in business? Because I know there's a bunch of shops out there, and I've already yelled at Guff about this, because they don't really do the social media thing, and I don't know why. Shops that don't do social media, to me, is just confusing, because it feels like it's such a big part. But what else is keeping you guys up and running?
I mean, what's keeping us up and running is amazing customers, and amazing supporters. I mean, we've got so many people that don't just shop with us, but they tune in and they spread the word about us, and that's, you know, the reason that we are alive, and it's the reason that we've survived COVID. It's as simple as that. What's changed is how we've used our assets. So, you know, Blake, for example, wasn't doing any daytime breaks at the start of COVID. Now he's probably the most prolific breaker in the world. I don't know how long Brad from Leighton's breaks for, but I'd say that he gets more chop outs than what Blake does. So, you know, we've moved people in our store into essentially, they're just triaging cards. They're sorting. You know, we've got a full-time person who's just sorting cards. They, you know, earn, you know, almost double what I was earning at their age working for government. They're just sorting cards all day. We've got, you know, 2 or 3 people in our singles department that are just processing cards. We've bought, in the last 6 months, we've probably spent, you know, maybe over 3 million in just buying people's collections, buying people's singles, and that means we've got a huge amount of cards to break down by year, by sport, by player, cards that are potentially for, you know, grading, and that brings in a whole new sort of side to it too, because everything needs to be assessed. You know, there's a huge amount of variance in cards condition now. So there's everyone has just worked their butts off, literally behind computer screens. It's just been keyboard stuff, and to ensure that Cherry was, you know, moving the chains, with the potential that we wouldn't be able to open our doors again. And touch wood, at this stage we can open our door. We're opening on November 16th to the public. We've got click and collect going again. So thank you to Dan Andrews for opening Victoria back up again. But yeah, we've changed. People probably look at it and they think that very little has changed, but you know, we've probably chucked, you know, over 100K into the website to keep it functioning. There's huge amounts of costs and investment. We've hired another 2 people to deal with to make sure that we can maintain our high level of packing service and quality. So yeah, there's a fair bit going on. We've looked a lot more at Cherry manufactured product. The banner products are amazing. We've looked at those and how they can be expanded upon. So yeah, man, it's been a very interesting time, and you know, I'm a big believer that it's the challenges that, you know, create great things, and we've faced probably an unprecedented challenge.
Agreed. So I know you don't have much time left with us, so I'll try and blaze through the next couple of questions as quick as I can. We all know, and if you out there don't know about what Grayson does and doesn't collect, you probably need to go and follow Cherry on Instagram. Because I know, Grayson, that you don't really go out of your way to collect NBA cards, but I do believe that one of your favorites is Marvel cards, in particular the Marvel Masterpieces. Was that due to the 90s Hildebrandt sets? Because they were fucking brilliant.
Yes and no. When I was younger, I think the Fleer Ultra X-Men was the most widely accessible card that was available. So I was going into news agencies, buying select AFL football cards and those Fleer Ultra.
Now, just to point out, those Fleer Ultra ones were the ones with the acetates in them, right? Like one of the special inserts with the acetates.
I don't remember that.
And
I remember
the beach ones, the subset that had like Rogue in her bikini.
Yes, yeah. That's it.
I specifically remember the set because I bought a lot of it. I actually, when I was running a stall at the PCYC in Queensland, I was running through that product quite hot. It was very, very good selling product.
It was a fun product that had great inserts. It was a really cool set. The cards told really cool stories. You know,
and they looked good. Like they were probably the best cartoon. I mean, the best non-sports card set on the market at that stage, which was mind blowing because there was just so many cool looking inserts in it.
And then they murdered the remake of it recently. It was horrific.
Set it on fire.
Yeah, I really don't understand why they changed the card stock. And anyway, so that was disappointing. But so that set got me, you know, it was a big part of my initial start to collecting. And I've always just decided to not get involved in the basketball card from very early on, because we'd hit amazing cards, and then you'd show them all off, and then no one would bust the rest of the boxes from those cases. So I kind of didn't want to, and I got a little bit bust in that stuff. So I focused on cards that people weren't buying, and like I'd sit on Marvel cards, no one would buy them, and eventually I'd just bust them when I was bored in the shop. So that's kind of why I enjoy doing it with my family. And I think the Marvel Gem set from 2016 is my favorite set. Unfortunately, Blowout Cards sold out of their final stock of it, which they've had for the last 5 years, so I don't know what I'm going to do. But that's amazing. It's got Joe Jusko had sketches in it. He's not doing sketches anymore. Helga Wojcik has sketches in it. She is absolutely outstanding. It's got a brilliant set. It's got an exquisite variation set. I love it. Marvel Gem 2016. If you're into non-sport stuff, I think it's the best thing that Upper Deck has done in a long time.
It does, yeah. It looks like a pretty awesome set of cards. And I was watching somebody actually about 2 nights ago. I was watching, I think maybe Titan Cards, yeah, in Florida. I was watching their stream on.
She's brilliant. The presentation that she does is brilliant, and they're very lucky to have her breaking for them.
Oh hell yeah! Without her, no one would watch that channel at all. And it's purely like her personality comes through so well.
Yeah.
That she's actually enjoys her job, that she's having fun opening stuff, that she loves enjoying interacting with the community. But yeah, I was watching her open a box of that, and I was just like, I want a box of this. Like, I haven't collected, comic book trading cards in 20 years, and this set just looks really fun. And just, yeah, like, I think I saw a printing plate opened, and I was like,
get it.
oh, printing
Yeah,
plates.
because I've got plenty of singles too, so I can help you complete the sets.
Terrible. Okay, so in saying that, obviously we talked about seeing a very small market, a very niche market in regards to non-sport cards and obviously wrestling in Australia. Do you really think that that might be something to do with sports cards so heavily ingrained in our actual culture, or do you think that that's probably just much more of a worldwide thing? Because when I cast my mind back to when I was running Underground Groove, when I was managing that, we were selling a heap of Marilyn Monroe cards and boxes, a heap of Coke, and these were the ones that you would find like discounted at the warehouse at this point. I think we were getting Marilyn Monroe boxes at $40 a piece, and we were selling Ruby Red cards for Marilyn Monroe Ruby Red card at that point. I think was $90 a card, and they were, I think, one in every 4 or 5 boxes. As I said, we were selling that Fleer X-Men cards were just flying off shelves. We were buying those at maybe $40 a box, selling them off at like $60 or $70 a box. That was really good for us. Things like the Max and Phantom Gallery, which we were also getting like heavily discounted because nobody wanted it, but for some reason our customers lapped it up. But these days, like looking around at that kind of stuff, it just doesn't seem to sell well at all.
Yeah, I bet you were selling pit cards then as well.
We were. Oh, don't remind me of that.
The pit cards was really nice. It was actually an Australian company too.
Dynamic? Was that Dynamic as well?
Yeah, maybe. The interesting story about that is one of the ladies who was big in Fleer, left Fleer to come and work, I think, for Dynamic in Australia, or get Dynamic off the ground. And so she was involved in a lot of those early sets. And I was chatting to her the other day because she was trying to sell me a whole bunch of her collection, which was pretty cool. She lives here now, but she was at Fleer at the coalface when everything blew up. So the question of do I think those things are niche and might pop, is that the question?
Yeah, pretty much.
I think that I think some things will always remain niche. I think that it takes so much momentum for things to really pop. We noticed March 2019, we started seeing the numbers on NFL take a big jump. So we just bought so much NFL, and it was really speculative because the reality was no one was really chasing that rookie crop at the time. And we bought that with the intention of getting our allocations up this season and for Trevor Lawrence. And I think it's paying off. Joe Burrow is amazing. Truly the second best quarterback I've seen since, his rookie year, since I started. Andrew Luck went best. And then to think that he's got a supporting cast like Herbert, Tua, Jordan Love's not playing yet, Hurts is not playing yet. There's some real talent below him. But still, it took 4 or 5 years of people just not filling breaks, like not buying products, and amazing products that just would not sell. And you can ask any seller of trading cards in Australia, they were struggling to move NFL. So I think that the time will come that soccer blows up. But beyond that, baseball, I think we can get moving maybe 2-3 years from now. But it's really slow. And I think those niche things like entertainment, like UFC, like wrestling,
Star Wars,
they're always going. they're going to be niche for a long time. Our market would really need to grow. Our foundation would really need to grow for those to be anything other than niche products.
Yeah, I kind of agree because, like,
but if I'm starting a break channel today, if I'm starting a break channel, I'm doing soccer, baseball, and entertainment. I'm going all in on them, because you can't get access to basketball. You can't get access to NFL, and anyone who has the delusion that they can, that they certainly can't get it in a scalable manner. Like, I've gone from getting 6 cases to 10 cases of product and spending millions a year with some of these companies, distribution companies, not manufacturers, distribution companies. And now my allocation's like a box.
Yeah. Like, so obviously with Chesh breaks, the name's a little bit deceiving because people think we're breakers, which we sort of are a little bit. We do some group breaky stuff when we can, usually just to like help support the channel. So it's not like every week we're doing a group break, or it's generally speaking like end of month we try. But you're right, like for us to try and get affordable basketball and offer it at an affordable price is nigh on impossible. I think I used to do Pokemon stuff I've done it for years really, but I've definitely played for years. I've been in and out of Pokemon since Wizards of the Coast were producing it originally. For myself, I'm getting a case, coming up with Vivid Voltage, because that's one of the things that we want to group break. But I agree with you wholeheartedly that if you're coming into this, even with retro basketball, and I'll touch on that in a second, but if you come into this thinking that you're going to be group breaking basketball at this late stage, you're not. You're absolutely not. It's not going to happen. You are going to absolutely die before you can do it because you just can't get the product. When it comes
it's just you can do it, but you can't give value for long enough, and that becomes really difficult. Unfortunately, I do need to go.
Yeah, that's fine.
I've got a date with my family, and my little one will not go much longer without food. So unfortunately, I wind up, man. But thank you so much for having me on.
That's right. And thanks for coming.
And I really enjoyed the questions, and I'd love to do it again sometime.
Oh, we definitely will. You'll see me around everywhere. Thanks a lot, Grayson. Have a great day.
You too.
Alright, cool. So that was G-Man himself, Grayson from Cherry. Now, let's get back to our regularly scheduled, which would be going through the mail and mail time, because I've got some really cool stuff to show off. So, Mega Hawk, yes, we did do it. We got Yoda on. I'm sure he would have loved to be called Yoda. Probably just figure out maybe a Marvel character. Herbert, what's the difference between 2019 and 2020 Panini Revolution Basketball Chinese New Year, which is Tmall, and Revolution with the Kawaii face? Tmall is Chinese New Year. That's basically a Tmall product. You're not guaranteed an auto per box. That is the first major change. The second one is I noticed that I felt like the pull rates in the box for anything and everything insert related were trash. So I say to people, stay away from Tmall. You don't have to believe me. Go on YouTube and look up Tmall products and you'll see there is so much of that product out there that people are overcharging for. They're charging almost Revolution prices on the flip market, the secondary market, when they really shouldn't be, because it is an inferior product to regular Revolution. So just watch yourself on that product. Herbert also says, got into Spider-Man Premium 96 card set. I dig the design of Spider-Man. That was an amazing set. That also had some acetates in it from memory. Especially because of I think it was like the foiling or the 3D. It was the 3D, wasn't it? On those. Can't exactly remember. I wish I had some around, but I don't even know where my old Spider-Man sets went. My entire card collection has vanished from it many years ago. Okay, so I've been buying up some stuff because I started a James Harden PC. I have no idea what exactly I have been buying. And I know how that sounds, but I buy so much stuff that I just absolutely forget a lot of the time what I've bought. So let's autofocus off. Ben Simmons. Probably got that as part of a lot when I was bidding on stuff and was like, oh, I'll just buy this other thing as well. I do that a lot. A lot. Alright, so let's have a look. So this is from Illusions Basketball. Unfortunately, it's not like a Mystique, which I really wanted the Kawhi Leonard Mystique. Sorry about your ears. I'm just going to move my microphone closer. This is gorgeous. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I love acetates. I know a lot of collectors don't because they chip easy around the edges and they scratch really easily. But I absolutely love this design. This is just so good. So yeah, there's a Stephen Curry that I just thought was really cool. So going into our Hardens, I picked up a Modern Strokes James Harden. Just again because I kind of decided that I was going to start a James Harden PC. Thanks for information on Revo. 96 had those cool canvases. Ah, right. Yes. There was another one as well, one of the Spider-Man ones. I think it might have been 94 or 95 that had the embossed cards. And the Venom and the Carnage cards looked really cool. Or maybe it was 97. I don't remember. It's been too long. I've been in this gig a long time. So, Modern Strokes, I think from Court Kings. Also from Court Kings, we have a cross-hatching handles. Yeah. Beard himself. If you're ever wondering why I started collecting James Harden, I just got some stuff in a break one day and then was thinking about how he is as a player. He's very much like Charles Barkley in the way that he's forced the rules to kind of change around him as he's bent those rules. So it's that like weird, I want to collect this guy because he forges. Anyone who can force a rules change already tells you how good a basketball player they are. It's like that in any sport. It's like that in any card game. If a rule has to be changed because you're taking advantage of the way the rules are, and they have to change that to stop you, that means you are ahead of that curve. So here's a -321. Very cool looking insert. This one I picked up because it's Fantasy Stars, but it's also like a silver Fantasy Stars. I don't know if they're all like that, but I picked it up anyway. I don't even know how much I paid for these. Probably not too much. These all came from Jeff, who is part of our group and has been a part of some of our group breaks. Here's a Will to Win, just because, again, James Harden. Here is a Base Illusions James Harden, which I think I did have one of these hanging around somewhere before, but I picked it up just in case anyway. It's good to have them. Russell Westbrook. This is the parallel one. Can't remember the name of the parallel. I don't really care. I remember seeing this and just picking it up for $1, basically, because I was like, why not? It's parallel. And this semi-die cut of Shaq, as you can see here, the die cut at the bottom. But USA Shaq, which I absolutely forgot I actually even bid on. So whatever. Cool. Alrighty. Next one is this one. If I can remember how to open it. There we go. 4 James Hardens. That's a bit packed actually. Out of here. There we go. Alrighty. So this one is just base courtside. I don't even remember buying this one, to be honest. But I didn't have it, so you know, whatever. Here is a what is it? Dominating Performers. It's really cool because it's got this amazing like foil texture to it. That's quite a thick card as well. None of these are numbered. I don't really care that much. MVP? What is up with that suit, dude? Seriously. It's like you've been taking fashion chips from Westbrook. We have a Dominance. Anytime I see a Prism insert, and it looks pretty good on condition, I'm gonna pick it up because it's Prism and it looks pretty. Just a base Optic James Harden. And Fastlane. Because these are just... They're so much better if you can get these in the silver. But just these base normal inserts look pretty cool as well. I kind of don't understand why inserts aren't held higher than they really are. It's that weird thing. It just feels a bit bizarre. Okay, so next we have... I know you think you've seen it before, but this is actually another one. That's right, I picked up a second one. This one I picked up for, I think, 30 or 40 bucks? Maybe 40 bucks? I think it was $40. Just another RPA from Tmall Select. So I'm pretty happy to pick this up. Nice and thick, it's got good corners. A little bit of whitening on one of these corners, which doesn't really matter to me that much. But yeah, it's an RPA, it's cheap enough, and then basically this with the other RPA, if you put them both together, technically speaking, they cost $110 together. So I think this was, yeah, 40 bucks. The other one was 70, or technically 75, but 70. For Wednesday, we have some Pokemon booster packs from that tin you can see over there, the Asian tin. More importantly, you get 2 Rebel Clash, you get 1 Evolutions booster, yes we do, and a Sword and Shield. But I was just more interested in obviously the Evolutions boosters because of Charizard Hunt. Charizard's becoming pretty sought after. Second last, we got these from a Champions Path ETB break that we went in as part of. These are just trash. They're just trash. Who cares? I don't even know why they sent them out. They could have just kept them. I would have been just as happy without them spending the money. But the piece of resistance is my Tyler Hero 9.5. Well, technically not mine anymore because this went on the weekend. This has sold. And this was from a cherry break of Encased. It's really funny because Grayson was breaking it. And I was getting 0, and I was like, oh, come on, give me a hero Encased, and bam, 9.5 gold with a 10 auto comes out of that box. So it was just, really nice. 11 of 99, and this will be packaged up and sent to the buyer tomorrow, and that's that. So had Gion talked a little bit about what we've cracked. Well done. Next time the question can be brutal box breaks which seem awful live, but the rookies become so hard to get. They are gems to buy singles like Obsidian, Spectra, Crown Royal, Origin. If I had more time, I absolutely would have been asking about like higher tier boxes and how you basically just going out of your way to get hosed on my boxes, but you can hit some really good stuff. It's like, yeah, the box looked like it was awful, but somebody cracked that, that Zion or that Jar or that, Tyler or Rui and just got absolute gold. Alright, so that's it. All time, I'm extremely hungry and I need to go and eat. I know it's real early. So thank you everyone for hanging out. Of course, go and check out cherrycollectables.com.au. Go and check out our sponsors for all of your gaming needs. That's guff.com.au. We will be back tomorrow night at 8 PM on the other channel, Cheshire Plays Games, to play some EDH Boxing League. And then on Wednesday, I hopefully will be back with Blakey from Cherry breaking some Pokemon boosters. But we will see how that goes, even if it's just a quick one on the Wednesday night. Even if it's just by myself, we will absolutely see. So thank you all for hanging out. Keep cracking packs if you can find and afford them, I guess, or something. Yeah, something like that. See you later. Have fun. Oh, that sounded really awkward.